Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? I'm here with another episode of The Flank, and we're joined by Ben Nissim. Of course, we all know Ben. How you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing good. Are you going to put me up on the screen?
I am going to put you up on the screen. Good call. The production is off today, guys, ladies and gentlemen, but we're here, and we're ready to go.
Fair enough.
What's going on, Ben?
Well, that's good, man. You know, enjoyed the weekend. I played some golf yesterday. Today, I was just kind of chilling, hanging out. And, you know, trying to enjoy the weekend before the work week.
I like that, man. I like your shirt. You got the esports engine shirt.
Yeah.
Now, where's my shirt? Where's my esports engine shirt?
We don't sell them yet.
What do you mean? Okay, and what? I'm not a friend?
We'll see what I can do.
Okay, we'll see what I can do. The answer should have been I'll make a phone call and I'll get you a shirt.
I gotta talk to Rami, bro. Rami's the holder of the t-shirts.
All right, talk to Rami. You let him know I want a shirt. I'm serious. But we got a lot to talk about today, Ben. We were texting back and forth a little bit. There's a lot to talk about, guys. We obviously got the new pools, right, for stage 2. We got some new pools, so we're gonna take a look at those and give our predictions on it. We got some roster drama, guys. I'm sure you all saw the roster drama that was going on Reddit and Twitter and a bunch of stuff. So there's a lot to talk about there. A lot of rumors that are going about. There's some maps being played, right? We're looking at scrims and we see some people playing different maps and stuff like that. So definitely want to talk about that. And then, of course, we always want to interact with you guys and talk to you guys and just kind of get your feedback a little bit and answer some of your questions. So we're going to have ourselves a good show. If there's anybody who wants to join us, I think we're going to have Tyler Fellow join us today. You guys all know Fellow. He's in challenges right now, making some noise. Of course, he was in the pro scene, and he's a great player, great personality in the scene. So definitely want to get Fellow on board. If anybody else wants to come on or anybody's watching, it is a very slow Sunday, Ben. It's very chill, beautiful day, beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, weather's been great.
Beautiful weather here in Dallas. We're just hanging out. So I don't know how long the show is going to be. But usually we do the show after, you know, like after like a major day of COD or like a league match or whatever's going on. We usually do the show after that. But we're going to do a little Sunday show and see how it goes. Pretty chill vibes, Ben. Pretty chill vibes.
That's what we aim for. So I guess you want to start off kind of, you and I were talking before, I think going into this stage, there are like 2 overarching like storylines, irrespective of teams. I think one is really obvious. Yeah. The second one, maybe not so much. I think we'll start with the obvious one, which is, for a lack of a better word, and no pun intended, chat, please do not roast me.
Shit.
But you have a lot of teams that may be at a crossroads. Coming up here, and we'll kind of get to each individual team, but you're getting close towards the middle of the season, and if teams struggle in this stage and don't get what they want, CDL points are obviously more at stake this year than last year. If you start slipping, there's more leverage and more ammo on the management side to make a change and try and get back towards the top of the standings.
Wait, you're saying that people don't like Crossroads? Like, what are you trying to say?
No, no, it was a joke. But
well, that was a shit joke, dude. That was a shit joke, bro.
No, I'm saying teams are at a crossroads, as in like, you know, they're like, are they going to make a change? Are they not going to make a change? That was the joke I was going for. I can't believe you didn't get that. You didn't get that.
I didn't get it, dude. I didn't get it at all. I didn't get. I said crossroads. We're already getting into the maps. Is this what we're doing? I'm dude, like,
it was a good joke, and you just didn't give me any ammo.
I don't know. That I saw some W's in the chat for that joke, so I'll give it to you. I guess I think that's a big Len. I think that's a big Len right there.
It's a big win, but it's all good.
I don't know. The win. Okay, now we got win. Okay. Yeah, interesting take, Ben. But let's start with the groups, Ben. You got a link to the groups.
Let's talk about the second thing, and then we'll get to the groups.
Oh, you want to talk about the second thing first?
Yeah. So the second thing.
Lead it.
And I think we'll probably get more info on this sort of in the next couple of days. But a lot of rumors flying around that there's map pool changes. I've seen a lot of pro teams scrimming Apocalypse Hardpoint the last few days. Map looks great.
It does look great.
So excited to see. I assume that means that Crossroads probably goes out because everybody hates that map except for LAG. Really curious to see if Express S&D makes it in. I know there was some Express Control being tested for a second. I don't know if that ever got in a serious spot, but it looks like we might get. Yeah, Reese, I did mention you, bro. I said except you guys. And then, so yeah, across those 3, I'm curious which made it and which did not. And that'll obviously shovel up a lot on map pulls and vetoes, and it'll add an interesting mix going into the stage.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was watching. I've been watching Optic a lot. Optic, obviously, they stream their scrims every day, right? So I'm always tuning into them, and I'm always watching their scrims and watching their streams. And I've been watching Apocalypse a little bit. And honestly, it's a really cool map, Ben. It seems pretty well balanced. Some of the spawns were a little weird on it. There are definitely some weird spawns, but I mean, let's be honest. There's some weird spawns on a lot of these maps. and I guess teams just get used to playing them and practicing them and just kind of picking up on those weird spawns. I saw one time Scump spawn right in the hill, which I thought was a little weird. But the map looks super fun. It looks super fast paced, super fun to watch. It looks really cool. It's very vibey, Ben. It's a vibey map. You got like a temple, and I like the colors and stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Valk. Like not the similar layout to Valk, because it's a totally different map, but just like the feel with like the colors and just sort of like the elements on the map.
Oh, you're taking RJ's take. You're taking RJ's take.
No, this isn't an art take that RJ and I had together, so don't overgas him on this.
All right.
But it's also like an interesting 3-lane map. Like there are legit 3 lanes, but one is like a very quick underground lane. You're going under a couple of hills. The other one, like the other edge lane, is super wide in the middle, which is one of the hills. You obviously got the middle of the map, which is where P1 is. I think the map plays great from what I see in scrims. It like looks really cool. I think we're gonna have a lot of close matches.
Yeah.
I agree the spawns are a little bit funky, but also teams don't know setups. And you know what happens in COD when you block every spawn, stuff kind of goes wonky. So curious to see when there's more structure in, if they need to make tweaks on that end. But I think it'll play really well.
Yeah, no, it's a cool map. And I think just hearing the overall feedback, right? Like I'm hearing a lot of the pros talk about it. They talk about it on streams. I obviously send TeamSpeak and stuff and listen to what they're saying. And people seem to really like it. They seem to really enjoy it. So now, you know, that brings the next question is, you know, what map do you think will be taken out? Do you think they just added on top of it? Like, what do you think is going to go on here? Do you think that Crossroads will probably be removed, right? Because I just think Crossroads is a terrible map, and I feel like nobody likes it.
I haven't seen any team scrim Crossroads in the last couple of days.
Gary.
So that's pretty telling.
Garrison Hardpoint plays great, guys.
What?
Garrison Hardpoint plays great. We're talking about Hardpoint. We're talking about Hardpoint, guys.
People might be talking about Gary S&D, which if Express is in, I wouldn't be surprised if Garrison S&D was out.
Okay, yeah. If we're talking about S&D, maybe.
But Garrison Hardpoint ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, no. Garrison Hardpoint should not go anywhere. It's one of the most. It's one of the better maps in the game when it comes to Hardpoint, for sure. Now, if we're talking about S&D, that's a whole nother story. That map is trash for S&D. I think Checkmate is trash for S&D. I think Garrison is trash for S&D. The reason why they're trash is because we talk about it all the time. You only use one bomb side of the map. Like, you don't even use the whole other side of the map. That's absolute fugazi. It's like, I've never seen S&D play like that, where it's just a straight up hit on one bomb site every single round. So I could definitely see that map being removed. That map or Checkmate, you know, one of them has to go, Ben. One of them has to go. Honestly, they both should go. And we should try and add 2 more maps. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but what are your takes on Express Control, Ben? Because I saw people playing Express Control. I thought it was a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I haven't seen a lot of it, to be honest, Tommy. So I don't know how much it plays like Black Ops 2. But I mean, we could definitely use some more variety. It's probably a little bit better. I mean, I saw your cousin's team has kind of broken Garrison S&D, so that's probably not helpful. But
you saw this? You're talking about the Standy clip?
Yeah, I'm talking about the standing clip.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that. That's got to be Coach Vinny just showing him some stuff. But has anybody ever seen that? Have you guys seen the standing clip? I don't know if you could find it real quick for me, Ben. I could pull it up on the stream. This clip was insane. Not only is the map shit, but then Standy finds a spot on the map to watch the one bomb site that people go to through a wall.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. You guys can take a look.
I actually have a story about this spot, which is I know that some people in this TeamSpeak found the spot, including Celium, and MC has been kind enough to not use that spot in a real game because it's so broken. Everybody roasts Celium for snaking. Just know MC's been sitting on that, not using it because it's basically breaks that bomb site because you basically can see through the crack. You see the name and it's like, you know, you could just kill the guy off a bomb.
Yeah,
they could patch it obviously, but
so I'm gonna pull it up. This is a live. Is this a live stream?
No, click. So above.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Because it's really buggy sometimes.
Bullets as well in this pixel peak. Brother.
That's insane, dude.
It's just...
So if you guys see, Standy is chilling on their side of the map. Tetris tucked in a corner. He can't be seen from anywhere, and he's seen through a crack where he could just see the whole bomb plant.
Yep.
And he just shoots him off the bomb through. And now it's like this map is completely unplayable now.
Yeah, you already couldn't play an A. So.
You already can't play an A. Nobody ever goes A. We're yet to see an A plant this whole year on this site. Now you're trying to go B, and you got somebody looking through a damn fucking crack. It's like, this is so stupid, bro. Like, this map is chalked. This whole map is chalked.
I mean, it's a fixable spot, but yeah.
It's a fixable spot, but the map isn't fixable. The way it plays out isn't fixable.
Yeah, the map's a little funky, but if we're replacing this for Express, curious to see how Express plays. I know there's probably some discussion about some of the bomb sets are a little bit funky. I've seen, but we'll go from there. I'm sure that's probably better than a few of these S&D maps.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think we'll see. I still don't know why we talk about it all the time. Why don't they add in standoff, man? What do you think is going on here?
If we're up to me, it should be, but I mean, we're not the developers, so.
You're right.
Would be a great map.
We're not the developers. I think they should hire me, Ben. I think the devs should hire me and bring in someone like me, and I can help them out with stuff like this. Cause, bro, I just don't understand why. Like when you have such a good map like that everybody wants to see brought back and everybody's talking about it, and it can be worked in every single game mode, and that's like one of the main things with this game so far is that we need more maps. And so a good map that can work in every game mode is like the perfect thing. So I don't know. Yeah, a lot of you see the dog in the back. That's Gizmo. Damn, he just knocked out. He's chalked, man.
Yeah, he's chalked now.
Have a good night. Good night, kid. But shout out to Gizmo, man. But yeah, Ben, the maps look pretty good. I think Apocalypse looks pretty good. I think Express S&D is a good map. Express Control looks a little weird. I don't think it's going to be played. I'm curious to get some of the pros feedback on it, but we'll see.
I heard the spawn traps are kind of wild in Express Control, but
definitely wild.
If we get a couple of those in again, will be an interesting shuffle for vetoes and matchups going into the stage. You want to pull those up and we can start talking about this?
Yeah, let's pull it up. We got a new stage coming in, guys. We got some new groups released. I'm curious to get your guys' opinions in the chat on what you guys think is the more OP group, I guess you could say. Like what I guess what people would think is the better group. And we're gonna pull them up. I'm curious to see you guys in the chat. Who are you guys rooting for in the chat? I'm curious to see what kind of fans we have in the chat. Who's your favorite team going into stage 2? Who do you guys want to see take it? See what people say, bro.
You pulling up the group standings? We'll start with Group A, I think. Oh, you pulled up OBS, RIP.
Yeah. No, I need you to send. I thought you were sending them to me.
Oh, you would what?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna send them to me.
You can't. I sent it to you right now.
Thank you.
Looking at your OBS screen, bro. What is this production?
Who cares, bro? I show my OBS screen all the time.
Brother.
Here we go. And just like that, we're here. We're ready to go. We got in Group A, we got Atlanta FaZe, Los Angeles Thieves, New York Subliners, Toronto Ultra, Los Angeles Gorillas, and London Royal Ravens. We got to talk about them a little bit. Then in Group B, we got Dallas Empire, Optic Chicago, Florida Mutineers, Paris Legion, Minnesota Rocker, and the Seattle Surge. So we got some good teams, Ben. Obviously, a lot of talent on both sides. And I'm gonna ask you a quick question, Ben. Who do you think has the harder group here? What do you think is the better group?
I think Group B is the harder group purely because you have teams like Minnesota and Florida, who I think can be much better than they currently are, and it makes that group very interesting. I think Paris is also another team that provides weird situational matchups. I feel like Team A is a little bit more top heavy, but if this change for Toronto Ultra works out, or one of these other teams in Group A has a really good couple of matches, stage A can get a little more interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely think
Group A. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Ben. I think Group B is definitely the harder group. Yeah, I think you said it right. I think Group A is just top heavy, right? Like they got some good teams at the top. But I think Group B across the board just has teams who can make noise. Even Seattle, right? Like Seattle hasn't looked very good, but I could see them making noise. Like I could see them making some noise, maybe turning it around. I'm curious to see what they can do there because I do think they have a lot of talent and they are potentially could win some series. So we'll see how they do. I do want to see them turn it around, right? Like I think after the year that they had last year, I would love to see them turn it around and show some life going into this stage 2. But a lot of the people in the chat, Ben, seem to be agreeing with us. I think Group B is just clear cut. Who do you think?
I mean, I agree.
Who do you think is going to take it? Who do you think is going to take it in Group A? Who do you think is going to take it in Group B? I mean, Group A, you got what? You got FaZe. You got LA Thieves, who's been looking kind of shaky. There's some roster rumors going down there. I don't know how true they are. We could talk about that a little bit. And then we got New York that's looking really good. You got Toronto that just made a change with Zinni, which kind of shocked the world a little bit.
Yeah.
We got LA Gorillas, who honestly look pretty good. They don't look that bad. And then you got Royal Ravens with rumors there with the roster change. We saw that stuff going down with Parasite. So I think we got some noise to be made here in Group A. There's going to be some changes in this with some of these teams. So it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Here's my kind of take on Group A, and then kind of let me know your thoughts after. I think FaZe probably clear number 1. team in this group. I think the second spot should be New York's. I think they are probably well suited with this new sort of QBZ Krieg meta still with their team. So I feel like pretty good about them being in the second spot. So their S&D is pretty decent. I think Thieves should be the third place team. But going back to the theme we talked about in the beginning of the show, I've seen they've been having a rough go at scrims like on stream. And obviously, you know, with that team, is always going to be like that sometimes. But again, as we discussed earlier, like if LAG continue to play well, if Toronto play well, we've seen what happens in these groups. If the top two teams don't lose a game and the only loss that one of the team has between those two teams, that means a bunch of teams in the group are going 3-2.
Yeah.
And that's where you get some wild tiebreakers, and anything can happen. You can have this crazy 3-5 tiebreaker, and you get a situation where one of those teams gets unlucky and they end up going to losers. So I would say probably Atlanta, New York 1-2. I'll give Thieves the third spot, but anything can happen. I also really like LAG, and I'm curious what happens with the new map pool if we get one. What's doing that? And then London, obviously, I have no idea what to think about that team right now.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like, we're saying Group B is probably the harder group, but I feel like Group A is pretty underestimated right now. I feel like you have Atlanta FaZe, who is arguably the best team in the game right now, right?
Yeah.
Then you have LA Thieves, who's supposed to be a top team, and they haven't been showing it. So you know they're going to come out strong. You know they're going to want to turn some heads and show what they can do. We know there's some roster rumors going around there, so you know the players are going to be going hard. Like, nobody wants to lose their spot. And then you have the New York Subliners, who look great. New York has looked great, looking like a top 3 team right now. So they're not gonna play lightly. They're gonna be coming out hot. Yeah. You have Toronto Ultra, who just made a change. So you know what happens when teams make changes? They're in their honeymoon stage. They're looking to come out hot. You have LA Gorillas, who was taking teams like LA Thieves. Like, people are saying LA Thieves are gonna be at the top, but they also got 3-0'd by LAG. So we don't even know what's gonna go on here. Like with LAG, with some upsets and, you know, bringing the teamwork that we know they have, they could turn some heads. And then you have London Royal Ravens, who again made some changes, and they might be in a little honeymoon stage. So we'll see what happens. I think London is bringing in a good player too, in Paul X, right? Have they announced it?
No, I don't think so. But that's
because that's the high rumor on the street. You know, you see CDL Intel tweeting about it and stuff. I'm pretty sure Paul X is going to be going there. And then we're seeing rumors of Venom going to LA Thieves, which is a little weird. Yeah,
that would be an interesting one for me, but it kind of makes sense. Like, you know, if they feel like they need to get a little bit more aggressive sub pressure on their team. Yeah. And then I guess Temp would be the one that comes out in that spot. Will be really, really rough on him. I mean, I want to kind of go through team by team here. Toronto, and we talked about this sort of their issue last split, or last stage rather, was just being able to finish out maps. Like, they were always in the mix against these teams and then not closing out. Maybe bringing an insight. And again, I don't even think the team has officially tweeted out the Methods thing, but that's kind of the assumption on the street based on the fact that Methods is playing challengers.
I mean, he legit tweeted it out, Ben.
Yeah. But we haven't seen from the org. So, but if Insight's in there and they're going with that squad, if they can ride the honeymoon and really start closing out, get some ice, a term that's used a lot, then things get really interesting. Here's my thing about LAG, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the stats, it's a little bit of an interesting situation. I don't want to say that they kind of overperform their stats, but I'm curious now that teams have a more clear picture of their map pool, what kind of maps they get in these series, and can LAG improve in control, which is their weak game mode, and a win condition I would like to see them do, which is continue to be good at search. It's probably been one of their strong suits. They were really good at crossroads, but their hardpoint game was kind of all over the map. They were actually a pretty good S&D team. So if they can improve in those two game modes, I see them having a really good shot in this group. They could definitely take a team like even New York to a game 5. If they can, you know, grab that map 2, maybe grab that map 3, force New York to have to win 2 hard points. Like, things get kind of interesting. And then London, again, you know, I really like if they're bringing in Paul X. He's more, I know from watching him play the last year or so, he's sort of like a flex player, can run a sub, but he's more of an AR type. Curious if that dynamicism sort of helps them and maybe sets up their aggressive sub players like Dylan to play a little bit better, because that consistency is what killed them in their first stage. You can't really have your aggressive sub players having stinker maps against the top teams. You're just not going to win that way. So Group A, if a lot of these teams improve, could get like super, super interesting to me. I don't know what your thoughts are.
You think Paul X is like an AR based type player?
He's more of a flex. He's not like an aggressive sub.
I don't understand this. I don't get it, because I remember when they dropped, when he was on Wester and Wester was looking really good, they dropped Zaptius, who was one of their main sub engineer players. And the whole talk on the street from their team was, no, like, Paul X is a sub player. Like, he likes to run a sub. That's what I was being told by multiple people.
But I've seen him be more of a flex player in practice.
Okay,
so I think
you've seen that. You've seen that. But apparently he likes to run a sub. Like, that's what he wants to do. So
well, that's great for them. If it goes to a 3 sub meta, then they're good.
If it goes to a 3 sub meta.
But like you and I have talked about this on the side, like the flex positions. So a weird transition has happened where I feel like we had a lack of really aggressive sub players, and then guys like Asim and Reese Vivid started getting really good. And now I feel like we have a weird thing where, like, I don't know if the flex role, there are a lot of really good 3rd sub flex players out there now. And if Paul can be that guy, that's a premium for them.
Yeah.
You know, it suits them well. And if we still have a 2-2 meta, if it's a 3 sub meta on some maps, it sets them up well, because their team right now would be not as fast in those metas.
Yeah.
But having Paul will give them a new dynamicism, and hopefully can improve like their S&D game, for example, which is one area that they need to work on. Again, London to me is like one of those teams that I'm very curious to see how they play in the stage, because if they can figure out how to flip the script on its head and suddenly be kind of in the mix in this group, like things get really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And also get really interesting going down the stretch in terms of like, how do we define those top 6 teams in the league?
So do you think London dropping Parasite was a good play? Do you think Parasite deserved to get dropped?
I think as a team they struggled. So that's a tough one. If their goal is to get a little bit faster, then I see it. But you know, as decent I thought Parasite played, he wasn't like blowing the competition away. His numbers weren't incredible by any stretch, Tommy. So it's obviously a tough spot for him, because it doesn't help that his other players on the team weren't playing as well.
Yeah.
But Paul brings a little bit more, I think, like energy and more pace to the team, and that's kind of the name of the game. Look at the teams that are playing really well in this game. New York's got a lot of pace with Asim and Mac.
That's how it is in every game. Let's be honest here. In every game, you want to have that pressure on the map. You want to have you want to have good pressure on the team. You want to have players on the team that know how to play aggressive and know how to slow it down, that can do a little bit of both. If you have players that just sit back all game, or you have players who just have nothing but a go button and never slow down, you got to have a good balance of both. So we can find players like that. A lot of people like Paul X. A lot of people speak very highly of him. But if you want my honest opinion, they have to get their teamwork up, or they're still going to be dog shit. They're still going to be absolute dog shit. They haven't showed any signs of life when it came to working together as a team. It's like they're all over the place when I watch them play. So if they can get some teamwork together and start showing a little bit of that on top of them having some talent now, right? Because Dylan's very talented. Paul X is talented. Shawnee's talented.
Yeah, but they're missing Trey. See, the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues of their team is I think one of their best players not having Zero has really not helped. Yeah, they were like practicing with him. Okay, like the entire beginning of the year, and then he's been stuck over there due to visa issues. So there might be another set of changes again for London before they really figure out this 4. But I agree with you. You need to see guys like Dylan and Shawnee kind of take the next gear that we know those players have, and focus on the teamwork, because you're not going to beat other teams by just like straight up running around and causing mass chaos. It just doesn't work that way.
All right, so Trey comes back. Who do you get rid of
on that team?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a good question.
If Trey comes back now that you have Paul X, you have Dylan, who's supposed to be super talented, but you see his talent, but he's not putting it up on the scoreboard. You start to question a little bit, you know, do we stick with this guy? You have Alex, right? Alex is the other one.
But Alex is on leave, so they brought in Zed. They've got a lot of like players now.
Yeah, he's on leave for now. Is Alex done for good?
Don't know, but you know, Zed I don't think is that bad.
And you have Zed.
They have a lot to work with.
They got all types of fucking guys over there. They got all. They have a whole. They have so. What do they do? What the heck? And how do they make the decision?
I mean, you obviously put Zero in. I think Shawnee's a lock. I kind of really like Sean. I think if you're picking up Paul X, you're probably going to give him a run. The question is who does that last spot go to? I'm not sure. They've also got Afro. Someone in chat mentioned that. I mean, obviously, they got a visa and come here, so they might not be able to do that. But they've got other stable of a roster. So curious to see what they do. Maybe they're making changes mid-stage if Zero can come over here. Like, they're an interesting storyline to watch, I think, over the next 2 months.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they just like, London confuses me, man. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, they keep making changes, keep picking people up, but they need to go into practice and just change their whole mindset as a team. Make sure that they're coming out hot and playing together as a unit. Because it just, when I just remember watching them play, and they were just all over the place. They really were. So I hope somebody could just take over on that team and try and get everybody together, because you know they're capable of it, right? Like, you know they have the talent to do it.
Yeah,
so
they got to mix in some North America. You and I have talked about this, and I'm going to offend a lot of people by saying this, but I don't care. Throughout the history of COD, we have not seen a lot of full European teams like go at all on a dynasty run. We've only seen one European team win a major LAN, and then subsequently they played decent the rest of the year and weren't really a number one contender. Red Reserve got close a bunch of times. Splice got close a bunch of times.
Red Reserve was probably the best European team
we've had. Really good, but never were able to get over that final hump.
Yeah.
I think maybe a full European roster could do it. But they need to figure out and get that consistency. I think that starts with the core of that roster. The superstar guys like Dylan just need to see more out of them. More consistency. Can't be dropping 0.6s and won some series. You got to find a middle and get your consistent 0.9s. With teamwork, you know you can win that way.
And then you have over at LA Thieves, you have the Venom talk. What are your thoughts on that? I think Venom is a very good player. I've always spoke very highly about him, not just as a player, but I think he has a good attitude. Like, I think he's a very good person to have on the map in game. Like, I think his comms are really. What are you laughing at? What are you smiling at over there, Ben?
Sorry, Spinner Spence is DMing me on the side, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, he's DMing you on the side. Hey, yeah, Spinner Spence. This guy gets a fucking hole in one, and all of a sudden he's all over the place. He's a hot shot. He's all over. He's going global. Shout out to Spinner Spence. If you guys haven't checked out his hole in one, it was a good shot. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a good shot. But to your point about Thieves, you know. Let's be honest here about Thieves, right?
Yeah.
I think they've got good talent on their team, but where they are right now is I don't think on paper they're better than Dallas. I don't think they're better than FaZe. I think New York with the current form are probably ahead of them. So it's like, what do you do? Maybe their thought process, they need to generate a little bit more frontline pressure, and that's maybe where the Venom thing is coming from. Yeah. Draws has been playing good in challengers, so I'm curious if he gets a look. But, you know, the Thieves team reminds me a lot, Tommy, of your final kind of run with the old FaZe team, like in Black Ops 3 and in IW, where, like, the core of the team had been really good a while ago. Yeah. But maybe it's time that they're going to need to make some structural changes and maybe really make some wholesale changes and maybe only keep two of that core and shuffle everybody else to try and find a combination that can get them to compete with the elite teams. Because as it stands right now, like, it's really, I didn't even put Chicago, by the way, in that list. I totally forgot about them. They're above Thieves. The way it's been the last like 18 months is some combo of Atlanta, Dallas, and Chicago has been the top three teams in the league. And this we've been waiting for this core players, the Thieves core players, when they were on Optic LA, to be in that conversation. We haven't seen it yet. So I'm curious, this might be the last stage where that happens. Might be.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm curious to see. It's like I can't see them making a change, but eventually they're gonna have to, Ben, right? Like, they have to. Like 100 Thieves has to do something. If it's not working, I mean, you can't just keep losing. And people are talking about a little bit in the chat. Have you watched the scrims recently with Optic Chicago and 100 Thieves?
Well, this has been an MO
not
for
so
them
good
all year, though. To be fair to people, like, they've been like having days where they get on. And I know they've been playing really well. And there are days where I know they've been getting fried by good teams. So I wouldn't read too much into one day of scrims, but, like, you know, I think for them,
they chalked the scrim, Ben.
Everybody chalks scrims.
If you're still talking scrims in 2021, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I agree, but I mean, it still happens. But
I mean, I guess I could see the other side of it.
My thing with them is this: is regardless of the scrim situation, is they're not in an easy group for them. If they want to get in a top seed, they're going to have to probably beat New York and FaZe and not lose to any of the other teams. If not, they get in another situation where they may get a really tough matchup from the other group, playing a second seed, which is likely either Dallas or Chicago in first round, and we'll get there in a minute and talk about that group. Yeah, they're going to be in another tough spot where they may be facing a losers bracket run right off the bat. So I think for Thieves, you're starting to get close to the clock ticking midnight in the team. Maybe with the pressure on, this is where we finally see the Thieves that we've been waiting for. Yep. But I think we're starting to head to the point where they may be taking some time here and making some changes.
They could be so good though. Like they really can. A lot of people could say whatever they want about them. People could talk about them chalking scrims, whatever. They might have had a very valid reason to chalking it. Like I'm not a big fan of chalking scrims personally, but it's their team, right? So they all agreed they wanted to chalk scrims. They thought it was better for the team. Then fuck it, let them do it. Maybe they thought, you know, they weren't coming into the day level-headed, and they were like, you know what, it'll probably be best if we just don't play. It'll be best if we don't play. Maybe go back, watch some VODs, talk about some things. I don't really know. But with the talent across the board on that 100 Thieves team, like, I hope they do well, because they should be doing well, and I hope they can put it together. I like the team. Like, I like the team how it is, and I don't want to see them change. So I want to see them do really well. So the whole Venom talk was interesting to me. I just didn't think they were going to change. But now that it's in talks, and you saw Kenny, he tweeted at it and said false. But I don't know how false that is, because I've heard that rumor.
Yeah, I've heard from multiple people, but like
I've heard it from multiple people.
I don't think it's anywhere close to locked. I mean, to be fair, it could be spinning around their camp trying to, you know, people trying to motivate other people on the team. But I look at the team right now. They're good on quite a few subset of maps, and their map pool isn't deep, and that's kind of where they got in trouble in the major.
Yeah.
Want to see them start to diversify. Maybe if a few maps just get added in here, it kind of helps them out, and maybe they get some new life. But I could totally see that, you know, if they end up with another top 6 or top 8 placing after the stage, you know, they have to look to maybe we try to get more aggressiveness, because, you know, we have RC's in the chat. Shout out him.
Shout out Alex.
His children on Atlanta phase, their sub players don't miss. And they dropped the 1.1s and the 0.95s. And if you can't have your frontline players providing that pressure and that slaying ability consistently against the top teams, you're good.
But I feel like 100 Thieves has that in them. I think TJ looks very good in this game. TJ's a beast. My man T-Squared, he don't play around.
TJ played well last stage. You know, maybe the question is
he's not playing around.
How do you get some more help from him? Because, you know, Temp didn't have the greatest stage. The other 2 players in the team at times, Kenny played well and didn't. I've heard some rumors that he's like running a full-time sub now. So we'll see if they kind of break that out.
Maybe they need that, right? Maybe they need to just flip some guns around and change some roles on the team and just and get something fresh. Fresh it up a little bit.
Yeah, we saw when he ran a sub in World War II. It's like the best sub in the game.
I don't know why he ever stopped running a sub. I think it started with the whole SOG mess, right?
Well,
in Black Ops 4.
SOG is
it was shit. I didn't want to run it. I didn't want to run it either. I was forced to run it, but Kenny just put his foot down and said, "I'm not running this shit."
But they switched into a Maddox, and then they, you know, when they brought Preston on to be their SOG player, like they fried as a team. They went back to back. So like, you know, we'll see if this opens up and he can be the dynamic player where he does sort of the simp and Shotzzy type plays where he's finding holes, where he's getting behind people, he's setting up 1 and 2 pieces and being the real, like not like a natural entry, but being that playmaker entry player that really opens up their ability to play map control. Like as a front running team, if you're putting Slasher into power spots, if you're putting Temp into power spots, like they're going to play well.
Yeah, they're all talented as fuck.
They just end up chasing the game, and that's where they get in trouble, because I don't think the team is built to really chase in that fashion.
Even Donnie, people have Donnie's name in their mouth a lot, but he's so talented, bro. I play with Donnie, like I know what he's capable of. Like that whole team is capable of winning events. So we'll see what happens moving forward. There's rumors going about. We don't know much about it, chat, other than the rumors that we're seeing. And then we'll just kind of see what happens as time moves on. And then let's go over to the other side, Ben. But shout out to 100 Thieves and them over there. I hope they do well, because they deserve to do well. They have a good team. I hope they put it together. If not, they'll make a change. We'll see what happens. But we got a lot of teams. So shout out to London, Toronto, and LA Thieves. I wish them the best with all these rumors going around. Even New York, Ben. Let's talk about New York a little bit. We got Hydra and Challengers.
Yeah, I mean, excited to see him start to marinate there and start to get more comfortable. We've talked about this a bunch. Like him, the goal with him is just to get acquainted with living in an entirely different continent.
Yeah.
So excited to see him sort of figure out there. But I like the New York team. I think they're well suited with this QBZ Krieg sub meta.
Krieg. It's a Krieg. It's a fucking Krieg.
Krieg. Anyway.
Jesus fuck.
I think I just want to continue to see New York play well. Continue to see Glacier turn back to clock. Mac obviously played really, really well towards the end of that stage, and I think that helped provide more consistency for their team. They were really icy, like they were closing out maps well in mixy situations. I think this group is set up well for them, and I expect them to finish top 2 here. I don't know about you.
Me? You see New York top 2? Forget about it. I can see them placing first. They're coming for you. I see the FaZe guys in the chat. We're coming for your ass.
I don't know about that, but
no, we're coming for you. We're coming, and we're coming fast. It's strong. But yeah, let's go over to Group B.
Yeah.
We got Group B. We got Dallas, Optic, Florida, Paris, Minnesota, Seattle. Ben,
interesting one.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You got all these teams talking about changes. You got LA Thieves, Toronto. You got London Royal Ravens. There's talks everywhere. Even New York, you got Hydra coming into the mix. The fuck is Seattle doing? What are they doing?
I don't know.
Why not pick somebody up? Do they have a bench? Do they have a sub?
I think Joey Nubsy's their sub now.
Oh, Joey Nubsy. Oh, okay. They're good. They're good then. They're good, huh, Ben?
Let's be real with
what are they
Seattle.
doing? No.
I'm
serious.
I'm getting there.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting there, which is, the sub, they have players on a team that have had 1 chips, 1 COD champs, 1 major lands, been on teams that have gone back to back. But talent-wise, where the league is now, where you have your Celiums, your Shimps, your Beezies, your Hooks, your Envoys out there, dashing out there, frying, like some of these guys, I think it's hard for them to be at that level of consistency, and that's where they're struggling. I agree with you. Would have liked to have seen them take a chance on one of these challengers players, step up, bring some young rookie mindset to the team. We saw how well it worked out for New York, but I think this group's really tough for them. Like, I look at this, obviously Dallas and Optic Chicago are great teams and likely the top 2 teams in this group, but what if Florida starts to play better? Paris was not an easy out for anyone last stage. What if Minnesota starts to win like 30% more of their hard points? Suddenly that team's really nasty.
Yeah.
They're in a really tough spot in this group if they can't figure it out, and I agree with you. They may be one of the teams that look to make a change after the stage.
But no, it's not even that. It's not about making a change. Okay. Why do people not use their sub spot to their advantage?
I've been asking that question for 2 years, brother.
Why is Joey Nubsy on the list as a sub? There's so many talented players and challengers that you could lock up and just make sure that they don't go anywhere and make sure that you always have a back pocket. It's like I'm not even sitting here like Seattle needs a change. I like the players of Seattle. I think if they could put some things together and work on themselves as a team. And with the talent that they have, they potentially could be a good team, right? Like, I want to see them put it together. I always talk highly about them, even when they're not doing good. I know all the people on the team very well. That's not the point. What the fuck is Joey doing on the bench? Get him off. Get him off the bench. Joey sucks. Let's be honest.
No.
He sucks. He can't play. Dude, he gets roasted on Twitter all the time. He can't shoot straight. You can't put Joey on your sub. He's the coach. Joey's the coach. He's there to coach.
Think about it this way, right? FaZe will likely not use their sub all year. They didn't use a sub last year. They have siblings on their bench. So,
but what do you think it is? What do you think it is, Ben? Let me ask you something. Do you think that some of these teams don't put good players on their bench because they don't want to get replaced?
I don't think that's what it is in this situation. I think this.
So what is it? What is it? Because if that's the case, that Seattle Surge, your management, what are you guys doing? I'm talking to the management now. What are you guys doing? Who's running the show?
The only thing I can think of is a financial reason, because if you're
give me a fucking break with the financial shit. I hate this financial shit. It was $25 million to get into the damn league. If you're gonna spend millions, the least you could do is pay somebody a minimum to get somebody on the bench if you want to see your team succeed. If you don't want to see your team succeed, why'd you pay the $25 fucking million to get in this shit? What was the point?
To be fair, Tom, we've had a pandemic. Revenue streams aren't as
give me
easy
a break,
obtain.
Ben. Give me a fucking break. We play video games.
I'm giving you their perspective. It's not the easiest to make money in this environment when you can't run events.
You have people and challengers that'll take a sub spot for free. They won't even take it.
They gotta get paid the minimum if you're gonna be a pro sub. No, pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay, and what are they paying Joey Nubsy?
He's probably on that subcontract, I would assume.
I heard Joey Nubsy was one of the highest paid coaches in the league last year.
I heard the same thing, but maybe he's on a subcontract because he's a sub. I believe that's how it works. If someone in the chat wants to correct us,
okay, so they're paying. So they're paying. How can they pay? So they're paying him as a sub, and they're just calling him a coach. How does that work?
I don't know, but that's what I've heard. That he's their sub.
Bunch of fugays. This is fugate. This is the definition of fugays. And I don't.
Spence letting us know he is on a player contract. So, but look,
he's on a player. They got Joey Dempsey on a player contract. Are you serious? Oh my God, this is crazy. This is unbelievable to me. This is news to me. This is crazy. This is absolutely fucking. This is insane. I'm fucking mind blown. I'm mind blown. Oh my God, dude. Jesus fucking dude. Whatever, man. I don't even want to
go back to your original point.
That's ridiculous.
I would like to see them hedge. I would like to see to find a challengers player that they can hot swap in here when the time is
That's
right.
ridiculous.
I think it will happen this year. We saw all but 2 teams rotated players out of their lineup last year. I think we'll see similar numbers this year. The way Seattle's been playing, they're well on that path to that. So. We'll see. I'm sure they'll target someone at some point. And I mentioned this before. The question at this point with Octane is are you going to re-sign him in the offseason? If not, does it make sense for you to keep him around? So
I'm fucking my mind. Can I say something, Ben? Can I say something? Because my mind's fucking blown. Yeah. I don't have no problem with Joey Nubsy. I don't.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. I'm sure he watches a lot of COD. He's the coach. Great. Yeah. He shouldn't be a they need that sub spot to go to somebody who deserves it, to somebody who plays. Even Minnesota, they got Brian Saint as their sub, do they not?
I'm not sure. Should have been ASIM, but that's another conversation.
It's all another conversation. I have nothing against Joey Nubsy. I have nothing against Seattle or any of the guys on there. I love all the guys on Seattle. I wish them the best. I always talk very highly on them. I just don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand why these coaches are under. You don't see any coach in a real sport with it also being a sub on the fucking roster. Do you ever see that? No, Ben, you don't. No. You fucking don't see it.
The only sport I ever seen player managers is like soccer, and that's a weird situation.
No, they have managers who have been
like
players.
People are mentioning like that's like only really happens in soccer. That's the only sport I can think of where you get player managers.
And he was rare situations. Wait, he was on the roster, available to play while also being the manager.
When he was at Derby after he left MLS. But like,
but Joey Nubsy ain't like fucking Wayne. He's not Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, Joey Nubsy is not Wayne Rooney.
You know what I'm saying? Like Wayne Rooney was a legend, an icon to the game. He was a professional player. The fuck did Joey do? With all due respect, I love Joey. I think he's a good guy. He's a good guy, and I respect him as a coach. He should not be a player under a player. That blows my mind. But we don't need to keep talking about this. I would love to talk to them. I don't have a problem with any of them. I'm just confused. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on over there. You have so many talented players on the sidelines, and even for like if you're on Seattle, like, don't you want a back pocket sub? Like if you're Big P or Octane or some of these stars on the team, like, don't you want a back pocket good player just in case shit hits the fan? What if somebody breaks their hand?
What if someone gets COVID?
We're okay. We got Joey fucking Nubsy.
like
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that hopefully they remedy that situation. But do you want to move on? Let's talk.
Yeah,
about,
let's move on. I'm mind blown.
So I think you and I both agree. Dallas and Chicago probably clear 1 and 2 teams in the group. Probably debatable on how that probably swaps around between those 2 teams. I would say Dallas is probably better, but then they got kind of waxed by FaZe, and then. I don't know how to really rank those 2 teams right now. I don't know if you have thoughts on which one's the 1 and which one's the 2 in that group.
I would go Dallas 1, right? Chicago 2. I mean, that's pretty much the common thing that most people would say. Now, do I think it's going to stay like that? I don't know. Optic looks good. Brucey has been impressing me a lot. Big Bruce. He's been looking really good. I like him with the QBZ in his hand.
Yeah. He's good with any weapon, but yeah.
I could see Optic taking first for sure. I could see them taking down Dallas. It wouldn't even be an upset to me. I could see them taking them down. I just think it's a clear-cut top 2 right now. I think Dallas and Optic are clear-cut. It only comes
down to one series. Like if your team just doesn't show up on that one day when those 2 teams play each other.
The one team that I'm looking at in this group is Minnesota.
I agree. I mean,
they have such a great team, a great roster. I want to see them turn it around. I want to see them do well. If they don't do well, then that was another team where like, okay, well, do they change? They have a coach on their bench again. They have a coach on their bench. Mind blowing. I don't know why that is. And I'm just curious to see what they could do. They deserve to be at the top. They have a really good team. I hope they put it together because I like all those guys and they're very talented. And I think they could twist a lot of heads. Even if they do well, it wouldn't surprise me at all because their team is just so... Dude, and not because Dylan's my guy, but like Dylan looks really fucking good in this game. Like he looks good.
Listen.
I want to see him succeed, bro. I want to see Dylan do well. I really do.
We've talked about it at length on the show. First off, we're hoping to get attached on at some point.
We tried to get him on today. We tried to get him on today, but we'll be doing these shows. Yeah, we'll be doing these shows throughout the week.
He texted me and told me if they go 2-0 this week, they'll come on the show. So we'll see. But I'm curious. Obviously, I think Priesta is going to play a lot better than he did in stage 1. So I think that's probably a lock. Preston never has bad form like that for a long time. Again, if they can win like 20, 30, maybe 40% more hard points, their win conditions are so good. They were a great search team throughout last stage. They were a pretty good control team. They just got to win those map 1s and those map 4s and put them in better spots to either close out series 3-0 or 3-1 and not have it go to map 5, which, you know, is always up or down depending on the situation.
Yeah.
But if they figure that out, like, this group gets very interesting, because I think then they can challenge Chicago. They can challenge Dallas. Because their map pool in S&D is so wide. And we saw what FaZe did to Dallas. When one of those elite teams outclassed Dallas in search, I think that opens up a lot of avenues for the way that Minnesota is playing. So very, very curious. Things get super interesting if they figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, I think that group could get really mixy. We'll see. I do have the matches here, Ben, if you want to take a look.
Yeah, let's close up.
Going into Thursday, we have FaZe versus New York.
We got that one right off the bat.
Right off the bat, we got a big one. We got New York versus FaZe. This is going to be a really good match. Arguably, probably, it's arguably, right? But that's the top 2 of the group that I'm looking at. So the fact that we have the top 2 teams, in my opinion, going at it head-to-head to kick it off, we got ourselves a good match, Ben. I want to see New York come out strong. I want to see New York come out and beat a top team like this. I want to see them do it, because they should have closed out versus Dallas at one time.
Yeah.
They beat a top team in Optic. They 3-0'd Optic. But I want to see them take down one of the big guns, either Dallas or FaZe. I want to see them take them down.
Well, bad news is I don't think they're winning that series, but you can give your prediction.
I think they're gonna win. That's my prediction. No bias at all. They're gonna win this shit. They're gonna win 3-2. It's gonna go to the wire, and they're gonna win 3-2. What do you think?
I think FaZe 3-1. If there was any match in this week where we might see one of the new hardpoint map in, I think it's probably this one.
Yeah.
So that'll be curious, but I just think the way FaZe is playing right now, especially in search, kind of neutralizes some of the strengths for New York. I think FaZe probably doesn't try to square up with them on checkmate, and I just see that being a really tough win condition for New York when you face that map pool. I still think they're a good team. It's just the way that FaZe are playing right now. I think they'll probably pull through.
Yeah, FaZe, they look pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They look very good. I'm just fucking around. FaZe looks really good, so arguably probably the best team in the league right now. So that's gonna be a tough match for New York. But you know, I gotta go with my guys, and Ben's got FaZe winning that. But we'll move on to the next one. We got Florida and the Seattle Surge. This is the one where I want to see Surge just come out and win. I want to see them win. Luckily, they have Joey Nubsy on the bench just in case things hit the fan. But I would love to see them take this. I would love to see Seattle come out and take this. But we'll see. What do you think, Ben?
I think I got Florida 3-2. I think this one might be an absolute banger of a series. Both teams are really going to want to start this group up 1-0. Again, as we highlighted, like the 3-2, 2-3 problem, you really can't lose to the other like middle-ish teams in your group, because then you lose that tiebreaker. So they're both going to be swinging 110% to not start off 0-1. I just think that Florida probably has that edge in that game 5. But, you know, with Seattle, like if they can start playing a little bit better at Respawn, we saw it a little bit on their control game. Was starting to get better.
They have it, bro. They have it, dude.
They're close. It's coming just down to a couple of kills on each map for them in some of the situations.
They have it.
And Florida's got the same problem. Like, we haven't seen the top gear in that team yet. Skies has been up and down. Obviously, we know that Big Wake, aka Awakening, is gross, but we haven't seen some takeover series yet from Slack. So if they can,
really, I've seen some good series out of Slack.
Yeah, we've also. Are you full series out of Slack? Like full, like 3-4 map series? Are you sure about that?
No,
I've seen some good maps out of Jerry, but they need more consistency from him in hardpoint. It's been a big problem for them. He's been mega up and down.
Yeah.
So if they can figure that out, and like their team again, we talked about it kind of a few shows ago, but if you kind of dig deeper into their hardpoint stats, their hold percentages are really good, but they can't break hills, and that's a huge problem against a top team. You front run like front running great. you're not always going to be in a position where you have a 70 or 80 point lead that you can play with. They just got to get better at trying to just get in those mixy situations and play better. But that being said, like, I still think that the talent, especially the prowess of Awakening and Searches, probably sees them through in Game 5.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think if Seattle needs to take a series, it needs to be this one. They need to come out strong. I think Florida's a good matchup for them. Dude, they have Octane, who's one of the best ARs ever to play the game. Like, they have Big P, Gunless, who.
But where's Sam Ben?
That's what I'm saying. I want to see them put it. That's what I'm saying. I want to see these guys put it together, bro. I really do. I wish them the best, bro. I hope they come out and make themselves have a good series here and just fucking come out and do some work. But they have a tough opponent ahead of them. But they're gonna have to beat some top teams if they even want to compete. Yeah. So Florida's a good matchup for them. You know, it's not the top of the top, not the bottom of the barrel. Solid matchup for them. So let's see if Seattle could come out and do what he's got to do.
For Seattle, I'm looking at these matches, by the way. Like, there are a lot of teams here that have 2 matches in this week that, like, really do not want to go into. Seattle's played Florida and Dallas. You're probably not beating Dallas if you're Seattle, so you have to win that Florida match. You can't go into and then be in a position where you have to win 3 away. Toronto is also in a tough spot. They play Thieves and FaZe Friday and Sunday. Those are not gimme matches. They can end up 0-2.
Yeah.
And then Thieves, on the flip side of that too, and New York as well, they both have tough games against the other top 3 teams in their group, and you don't want to end up in a situation where you go 0-2. So, like, very curious on those are some of the matches I kind of highlighted on here. That I'm curious to how things shake out after the first week.
Yeah, no, I think the matches that you pointed out were the ones that kind of caught my eye, right? Like, I see the FaZe New York, Seattle Mutineers caught my eye a little bit, and then you have, you know, Optic Paris. I have Optic. You have Minnesota and Florida, which catches my eye a little bit. You didn't speak a little bit on that.
Who wins that?
That one's interesting to me. I feel like Minnesota and Florida are, like, pretty even right now. I feel like they're pretty close.
Even, like, Paris too. Like, we haven't talked a lot about Paris, but, like, they haven't been easy out as a team.
Yeah, they're a great team. Paris are a great team. They say, dude, we're gonna have some good matches. I can see some upsets going up in this pool. I don't know where they're gonna happen, but I just know that upsets happen. So we might see an upset or 2 here.
I think the upset is on Friday, the Thieves versus Toronto match. I think we could see Toronto win that series, like that series.
But you think if Thieves loses to Toronto, that's an upset?
I think it is. Is it not?
No. Why is that an upset?
You think Toronto's better than Thieves?
No. I'm not saying Toronto's better than Thieves, but that's not like a crazy upset to me.
Oh, it's not a crazy upset, but it is. I would say Thieves is favored in that match. Like, if Vegas were to give odds, Thieves would be favored now.
Thieves is definitely favored. 100%. They're the better team.
It's not like a wild. I agree. It's not like a wild upset, but, like, you know.
I guess it's an upset. It's not a wild one though. It's not like something where I'm like,
it's just like a tough one for Thieves, where you're playing a team of 4 that's been together for the first time. You don't really know what the map is, and in the middle, like, it could be a little funky.
I guess. I just think with Toronto, they're bringing in the new guy. They're gonna be on a honeymoon stage. They're not a bad team. Like, Toronto has Kleenex and Cammy, who look great. You have a new guy coming in who's supposed to be some young, talented young gun. You know what I'm saying? Instead, supposed to be somebody who's really... He's supposed to be a talented young gun that's, like, going to change his... Ben, what the fuck are you smiling at again? You're always smiling over there.
No, keep talking.
All right. I didn't know if I said something. I do see Thieves taking it, though. You're right. I think these are the better team. I just didn't know... The way you said upset, I was like, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise to me. I think it's going to be a good match. Like, I think Toronto's underrated. And Thieves obviously haven't looked too hot, but I think Thieves, if they're playing on their game, you know, they're a top 4 or 5 team. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a top team, so they should take this.
They should be, but you never know.
So we'll see how that goes. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. We got the next day as well. I don't know if you want to talk about these. These are week 2s. I mean, we're gonna be we could talk about these in the next show, right? Like, as time goes on, but we could just highlight some key matches, like looking through it real quick. You got Optic, Minnesota.
Dallas, Chicago, the last one. But yeah, looking at the second week, Thieves FaZe obviously is a big one. The Minnesota Optic series is going to be really big.
Yeah.
That Optic Florida series, if Florida plays well, could be really big. Same with the Dallas Minnesota series on Sunday. Looks like Paris plays twice this week, and that's Seattle's third match. So that Paris Seattle match could be like a loser go home match for one of those teams to not be 0-3 in their group and end up being the last 2 spots.
Yeah, there's nothing really that catches my eye too much, except for what you said. I think the Dallas Minnesota could be interesting because Minnesota beat Dallas last time they played them, which was an upset. That was an upset. And now it's like, you know, and that just kind of shows you a little bit of what Minnesota's capable of, right? Like Minnesota's capable of being like one of those top teams. So I want to see them bring that out again and take them down. If they could take down Dallas again, I think that'd be huge for their confidence. So we'll see how that goes. And then going into the week 3. Week 3, we got Dallas and Florida kicking it off. That's always a good matchup. Scrolling through it, New York, Toronto, you know, not too bad. I think New York favors that a little bit. Not really too much going on, but we got Dallas Optic to end it. Ben. We got Dallas and Optic.
An absolute banger.
That's always a good one. Always.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an exciting match. So I'm excited to see that unfold. And we got ourselves guys, we got ourselves a good couple weeks of COD. Let me tell you, we got some COD coming up. We're gonna have a lot of content to talk about, a lot of matches to talk about. There's a lot of new players coming in. There's a lot of controversy around some of these teams. We're gonna have, dude, the flank is about to be popping, Ben. The flank is about to be on another level.
We're gonna have some great shows.
We're gonna have some great shows. We're gonna try and get some people on to come talk and get their opinions on things. But we're gonna have a lot of matches to talk about. A lot of COD left to play this year. So we got ourselves a good season, guys, and I'm super excited. So I hope you guys are as excited as us.
People see the NCAA tourney greater than COD this next few weeks, bro. Like the NCAA tourney is gonna be hopefully no teams get COVID. We'll just say that.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I'm here in Texas, Ben, and COVID don't exist down here. It don't exist.
In Ohio, and I watch people pack into bars on St. Patty's. Man, guys, there's still a pandemic going on.
I know.
Wear your mask, social distance.
Yeah, wear your mask, social distance. I'm just like, I was very surprised when I was out and about. I saw Castro yesterday eating some food.
You were like around your neighborhood?
I was not around my neighborhood. I was 25 minutes out. We were I don't want to say where, but we were chilling. We were at some like outdoor mall type thing. Yeah. Doing something. I'm walking around. I see this guy. I said to my girlfriend, I said, "That's Castro. That's fucking Castro." And I wanted to say hi, but he was with his girlfriend. He was eating and he was with family. So I was like, I'm gonna let him rock. But I'm a big fan of Castro. Michaela was like, I saw you starstruck. Like, I never see you starstruck. I said, was I starstruck? I might have been a little starstruck.
Go, man.
He's the go, dude. Castro's a man.
People don't know who Castro is. Castro's one of the biggest FIFA streamers.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest FIFA streamers.
Really close to the Optic guys. Has been on Hector's podcast, I think, at least once.
Yeah.
Super cool, dude. But I agree. Like, look, you can go out and like social distance, go out and have a good time. But people packing into crowded areas, like sporting events have 100% attendance, which I know Texas is going to do. Like, let's try and keep our restrictions up, guys, because if we can all get the vaccine out, then we all have a legendary summer and not be having to deal with spikes in the beginning of the summer. But that's just my take.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even need to talk about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else has their own opinions on it.
Ben Biden in chat, like, okay, man.
Who gives a fuck, man? Do whatever the fuck you think you believe, man. Just be safe. Always be safe. You know what I'm saying? Just be safe. Do what you gotta do. I still wear my mask and social distance, but you know, do what you gotta do, man. Ben Biden, Ben is president. Come on, but we're not here to talk about politics. So let's move on to some questions. You want to talk about some questions?
Yeah, let's get some questions in the chat.
Cause I'll tell you what, I'm no political guru over here. I'll tell you that, Ben. I don't know what the heck's going on.
I mean, I can speak to politics, but this is not the podcast for it.
Oh, definitely not the. Imagine we start talking politics on here. I'm scared to do that, dude. I'm scared.
Yeah. Well, this is not a politics podcast.
Ben, you running for 2024? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not even gonna be.
Because I'll tell you what, you definitely don't got my vote. I'll tell you that.
I can't run. I'm not gonna be. Well, you have to be like 35 to run for president, right?
Yeah. How old are you? I thought you were 35 already.
I'm not gonna be 35.
Oh shit.
FaZe going undefeated again in this stage.
Possibly.
It's doable.
Possibly. I could see FaZe going undefeated. I could see them. I mean, dude, they just look like they're untouchable. At least from stage 1, they looked untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, that Paris series is a little wonky because they already qualified. I think they probably weren't going 100%. But yeah, like if they continue playing S&D the way they are and how good their respawn game is, like it's gonna be tough for people to beat them.
Their S&D is what separates them from the rest. They're just really good at that game mode. So it's always a swing mode. They're also very good at respawn. So if they're just going up 2-0 in every fucking series they play, it's like, okay, well, these guys are just gonna be tough to beat. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
Someone asked, it's actually a really interesting question, interesting idea. So Rep in Arizona said in chat, do you think having an offset amount of lives in control would be beneficial? And then he gave an example of like 32 lives in offense, 28 lives for defense. That would be interesting. I think it'd be a little bit confusing for viewers with the uneven lives. But anything to try and get offense to be a little bit more viable in control, I think everybody is probably for those. And I know that at least one of the developers, it might have been Maddox, threw out a bunch of stuff on ideas on Twitter a few weeks back. So I know that the devs are probably looking at how to try and improve the game mode a little bit for competitive.
Yep. I see somebody in the chat talking about Fellow. Fellow had PC issues, guys, and could not make it to the show. He was sending me some DMs of his PC updating, and it was taking forever. I still don't think he's done with it, so poor Fellow, man. We'll get him on another show.
We'll get him on. There's like, I know there's Challengers Elite stuff going on this week, like maybe after one of the matches. I know we'll just be like chilling. We can get him on.
His team looked really good. Get RJ on the show. I would love RJ on the show. I would love to get RJ on the show.
We had RJ in the last show.
Yeah, we had him with Chris. We had him on with Chris.
Yeah,
was it the last one?
Yeah, that was the last show we did.
Was that the last one? Okay.
Yeah.
There hasn't been much talk. There hasn't been much to talk about.
2 shows ago.
Yeah,
we had
it was
the WrestleMania show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Attached? We're gonna get Attached. Dylan definitely wants to come on the show. We've talked
said
about
that
it.
If they go 2-0 this week, he'll come on the show. So if they go 2-0, I will expect him to show up. If not, you guys can let him know.
Yep. Can't they sign sub for 2-week contracts, and that's why teams don't want to sign sub for the year? Yeah, but the thing is like you potentially lose out on good players if you don't sign a sub. Like for instance, FaZe locked up Sib. So now no one in the league can ever take Sib away from them. They always have Sib under contract.
They can always, trade him for cash. And
that's what I'm saying.
This is one of those orgs that's going to hold him. But like, yeah, you help yourself out with having a guy you think that fits in your system, and you have the choice to either keep him or let him go somewhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just about locking up players. So the fact that like if you're a team like Seattle or Minnesota and you're not doing too well, like you might want to think about locking up some of these Challengers players, because at least when I was a pro, if there was if things were going downhill and we knew things were chalked and there was really good talent in the young scene, I was like, we gotta go get this guy. You know what I'm saying? So like, get him before somebody else does. Like, I don't understand why these sub spots aren't being utilized. If you're a professional team that spent millions of dollars to get into the league, it's like you don't give a fuck about winning. It's like you don't care. It literally seems like you don't care.
Last year, Tommy, where I got super annoyed last year at the beginning of the year when every team saw the alpha and the beta over the summer, and then all of a sudden all I saw these teams forming and their sub spots were 2 ARs, and I'm like, none of these teams have picked up any sub players. And then what happened? A lot of these teams had to make changes, and they didn't have a sub player, which is what role they were trying to fit on their roster. So orgs need to pick up substitute players, but they also need to make sure they pick up players that fit the roles that they may need on their team, or will be able to play the system they want of COD.
And guys, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not talking smack or anything. I'm just being straight up, and I'm being honest. That's how I always been. I'm very honest. And the thing is like, I'm a competitor, and if I'm the coach of Seattle, or I'm the coach of whatever, any of these teams, I want a good player to utilize on my bench just in case shit hits the fan. Like, I want to make sure that I lock somebody up. It just seems like some of these teams don't care. It seems like they don't care about winning, and that's what just kind of blows my mind because of how much money gets put into this. Don't you want to see your team succeed? Like, is that not like... I don't get it. I don't get it. So I don't know. Maybe money is tight. I don't know the financial situation. I'm not on the business side, so maybe I'm maybe I'm being ignorant. I don't know. But I would find a way to make sure I had myself a good sub on the bench personally. If I gotta cut some salaries
too. Yeah, I'm trying to hedge. I'm trying to hedge.
I feel like no. I was just gonna say I just feel like the financial situation is complete utter fugazi. I feel like that's a bunch of fugazi. I don't know how.
I mean, look. As I said, tough economic conditions, it is what it is with COVID. But I agree with you. If I were running one of these franchises, then I'd be looking at my roster and being like, okay, I have a good starting 4. But God forbid something happens to one of these players or a player is underperforming. Who can I have in my sub spot? Maybe that's 2 different players to help me hedge. So God forbid if that happens, I can put someone in. They understand our core values as a team. They understand our system. And then we're good to go and we don't miss a beat. I feel like a lot of teams screwed it up last year and may screw it up again this year. Remember, guys, as we mentioned earlier in the show, only 2 teams last year, FaZe and Paris, and I don't even know how Paris is on this list, didn't make changes last year. Think about that. We have 12 teams in the league, and 10 of them made changes last year. So we may see the same numbers this year, and I agree with Tommy, a little surprised that we don't have more lock subs, at least that have been publicly announced in the league.
Yeah, I see somebody say, should John get signed? Sure, for John to surge would make sense. I watched John a little bit on stream.
Yeah.
I was doing a Challengers watch party last night. For those of you, I don't know who in this chat was in there, but dude, John looks good. Yo, his movement looks good. His shot looks good. Their energy was really high. Tom Gravity was playing really well. RJ in the chat showing to say Tom was carrying. I mean, Tom looked really good. Fellow looked really good. But I mean, regardless of stats and stuff like that, they just look good as a team. Like the comms are really good. They look good as a team. Yeah. I'm not gonna say that Tom just straight up carried. No, Tom didn't just straight fucking carry the team. They look good as a
core guys.
They have a good core guys. Like they were playing well. I was watching John's POV and he was doing his thing. Like John was doing good. I only watched towards the end of it, so I you know, maybe Tom was carrying through the whole event. I don't really know. Of course, Tom is nasty.
They were all playing well. First off, I missed Dallas on that list of teams that didn't make a change, but I agree. Like, I really want to see John on this team. Like, this is actually a really good pro style roster they have. They've got two like talented, experienced sub players in Jared and John. You've got that fellow Gravity duo. It's a really good AR duo, really smart. They look really good as a search team, which in Elite goes them. Takes you pretty far as a squad because a lot of the teams are a little bit funky in S&D. So
yeah,
curious now they've qualified for Elite, and we've seen a lot of roster shuffles where they rank up in the team. And look, if John continues to play well and plays well in Elite, then maybe a team like Seattle or maybe another team in the league that considers a change may look to put him in the roster in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
I would love to see him back. John is, and you've known him well. He's a great guy. Can be a great teammate. Was not always the most consistent player, candidly, when he was in the league, especially at the tail end and during the World War II and Black Ops 4 days. But if he can find that vein of form, he's got that talented skill. He has that go off, that playmaking ability that's so desperate that many of these teams need. Yep. I'd love to see him in.
Yeah, no, for sure. John's a good player. I think speaking about Tom again, Tom is definitely one of the best ARs and challengers. Now it just comes down to what team needs an AR. I think that's always a factor, right? When you're looking at some of these challengers players, and a lot of these guys are good. Like you got to look at roles. If you're looking at Seattle, you know, you're not going to be looking at Tom because are they going to be dropping Octane for Tom? I don't know, but it doesn't seem like they are.
Yeah, now Sam's not getting dropped.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Sam gets traded if he's not going to be in that lineup.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, you know, there's no point in even talking about it for that team. As you know, thoughts on the Zinni issue. Where would you like to see him go if he leaves Ultra? I don't know how that even works, Ben, with him under an Ultra contract.
They would have to trade him.
And they might not want to. They might be like, no, you're staying with us.
Well, I know, and this might be news to some people, I know that back when Toronto had benched a few of those players last year, that they were asking around and seeing what's out there in the trade market. And that, again, a lot of teams were like funky with cap flexibility.
Yeah.
I know at one point, there's a trade for Classic that actually did kind of get interesting, and I don't know if it ever got close, but there were player-per-player swaps discussed in that transaction. But Zinni's in a tough spot because I don't know in the main AR level like who's really needing that spot right now. Plus, I think he's been done dirty. He was playing really well this stage, so he stays patient. If this Toronto team doesn't work out, he might be back in with the team. Yeah. I feel bad for the guy. I was watching him play yesterday, Tom. Like,
he looked good.
He was frying. He does not deserve to be in challengers.
No, not at all.
Way too good.
Not at all. He definitely does not. Definitely does not deserve to be in challengers. I actually saw Marky B in the viewer list. I would have loved to get Marky B on and just have him talk about a little bit on like his thought process going through the change and kind of why they did it. So maybe we'll save that for another show.
Mark, if you're watching, happy to have you on and chat about your team and where you want to go. Definitely
would like to talk to you, Marky, if you're watching. But yeah, any other questions in the chat, Ben? Chat was moving kind of quick.
Someone says, does Apocalypse S&D look playable? I talked to some people and they said that Apocalypse S&D might be interesting. I don't know if it was discussed for this iteration of any map pool adjustments, but I've heard it's not a bad S&D map.
Yeah, no, I can see Apocalypse being played. I haven't watched it in S&D to give my honest opinions on it, but it just looks like a cool map. I could see it being played. I would like to just see more S&D maps being added in because obviously there's a couple maps that are just complete shit. So we'll see how that goes.
Agree with that.
Let's take a couple more questions. People are wondering about the Wester change and the Decimate team and stuff like that. Wester change made absolutely no sense to me, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened with those guys. Apparently a change was needed. We've talked about this before on past shows. I don't understand how a team could be so dominant in the beginning of challengers and then, you know, maybe like a month slump or a few weeks of a slump and they just want to chalk up the whole team. I don't really know. I don't really get it. I don't see the point of it.
Well, you and I have always talked about that. I mean, I think it's always a variety of different factors, you know what I mean? And also, you know, there's always a domino effect with challengers teams just because a lot of people aren't necessarily under contract. So if one team makes a change, like a lot of this roster may happen because Hydra came in and suddenly one player's off of NYSL Academy and then it dominoes for another team and another team and another team. Yeah. And then Wester beating a bunch of people earlier in the year started to domino a team trying to catch up to them. So like, you know, it is what it is with the scene. It's a weird, you know, the way challengers is right now because there's no lands, like there's no incentive for these challengers teams to have to sign to an org, right? Yeah. Because if you sign to an org and they give you a salary, well, they're going to want to take a cut of your prize. Yeah. And also traditionally they would cover your travel expenses. So that balance doesn't really work out right now. So I think that instability in terms of people not having an org contract that they're having to negotiate and buyouts like that is what's leading to a lot of these changes, at least at the top level of challengers. Yep.
I see people talking about Hydra. I see a couple questions about Hydra. People are saying, you know, how's he doing? I know he just got into Dallas. He's doing pretty well. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with him. I'm sure we'll see him maybe in challengers with the NYSL Academy team. I saw him tweeting some of the challengers players, and they were tweeting at each other some gifts and stuff. And you know what happens when people are tweeting each other gifts and stuff. You know, they're usually flirting. You know, that dumb shit that people do. They're flirting a little bit and stuff like that. We've all done it. I've done it. So I can see him playing with the academy, maybe getting some practice in with the main team, maybe like once or twice a week. I'm not really sure what the plans are. But Hydra's just, you know, taking his time. He's settling in, getting used to the internet, getting used to the pro scene over here, and just playing some COD, man. Don't need to overthink it.
Someone, Gabe said in chat, big deal, Ultra let their manager go. From my understanding, that situation has nothing to do with any, like, situation with the team or whatever. That Dominique was just, I think her boyfriend was moving overseas and she was not going to be in a position to be able to do that job remotely, and she just wanted to change. So it has nothing to do with like performance of the team or any of the transactions.
Wait, what? Her boyfriend moved overseas and
yeah, it was in her statement.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's moving to Europe.
Oh, she's moving to Europe.
Yeah, she's moving to Europe.
Where's she moving to?
I'm not sure, but I was
That's
told
pretty
it
cool.
had nothing to do with like any of the transactions on the team or anything like that. That is just, you know, she's just switching up. Wish her the best.
Yeah, wish her the best, man. That's pretty crazy though. She's moving to Europe. That's a big change. She talked about it a little bit, like mentally and stuff. Like she wasn't in the right headspace, so she wants to find some happiness. So wish her the best of luck, man. Hope she finds happiness. Who are they hiring now? Did they fill in that role?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
Oh, interesting.
It's joining a job interesting time, so we'll see whose slots in there.
Cell got caught snaking by Dashy. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of people who snake, man. I mean, again,
it's talk about this time and time again.
You see Celium doing it, and everybody flips the fuck out, dude. It's like everybody snakes. There's so many snakes. I see people snaking all the time. Like, it is what it is. Until it stops as a whole, you can't point out individuals because there's so many people who do it. There really is.
Snake or be snaked.
Snake or be snaked. That's not true though. How's that not true?
How's that not true? Snakes. Everybody snakes, man. I'll go back and watch the major and let me know what you think.
Not everybody, but the problem is more than one person snakes. It's not just Celium, guys.
You can name one person on every team that snakes, and teams will deny that.
He said name 5 people that do it. Oh, I could go from team to team and just
name one person
name at least 1 or 2 from every single team without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And the other problem with it too is if you one and done off a head glitch, is that a snake? Well, some people think it's a snake. It's not. Like, it's just the animations look funky when you're on the other side of the perspective. You think someone snakes and they're just crouching behind.
No one in Dallas snakes. Somebody just said no one in Dallas snakes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus fuck.
Listen, all I'll say about that is I watched someone in Dallas snaking the first match of MW last year. So
come on.
How about that?
Bruce doesn't snake. He really doesn't snake that much. I watch Bruce. Guys, I'm not. There's players out there who don't snake. Cool, congrats. But there's multiple players that do. It's not just Cell. There's so many people who snake. There's so many fucking people who snake.
And by the way, people say that. So here's the definition of snake, right?
I can't believe we're still talking about this, too. We don't even need to talk about this.
It's so annoying because you slide cancel on a heady. Is that a snake? That's not a snake. That you just hit in a slide and the animation looks glitch. One thing I know Celium doesn't do is fucking, excuse my language, is he doesn't sit there and crouch up and down, up and down, up and down on a heady. If he does snakes, he does a one and done. Again, I don't think that's a snake. We never sat here and had an actual definition of what a snake means. That's the whole problem with this argument. Let's actually define what a snake is, and then we can have a real
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk about snaking. I don't care.
Right, fair enough.
Multiple people snake.
We talk about this a lot.
Multiple people snake. If you guys don't agree with me, then you're dumb. I watch COD every day. I see multiple people snaking. I don't know what else to say. If people want to call me stupid or say that that's not true, then I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? No, that's not true, Ben. Don't say stupid shit. This is why we keep talking about it.
One person or two people on every team snakes.
No, that's not true, bro. There's certain teams that might not have people snaking. The only point that I'm gonna make is Cell's not the only one who snakes. There's multiple people who snakes. People snake by accident sometimes. Snaking is an in-game mechanic that it's very hard to GA because it's the fucking game. And sometimes people are gonna do it by accident, even in high tense situations. And if people say that's not true, that's fucking bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. When you got fucking millions of dollars on the line at these tournaments and people are snaking by accident or people are fucking doing it, you're gonna start snaking. And when I was a professional player and we did GA snaking, I was playing teams where people were still snaking. And I would go backstage and I would say to Chris Crowder, I said, Chris, I can't take this shit anymore. Everybody's fucking snaking and I'm getting pissed off. I thought this shit was GA'd. And Chris is like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna be a bitch, so I'm not gonna do it. But people are still fucking snaking. People do it. Cell does it. Multiple people do it, and that's that. I don't care if your favorite player doesn't snake. Ben was saying your favorite player snakes, whatever. That's dumb. Ben's wrong. There's people out there who don't snake. There's people 100% out there who do not snake. I don't see many people on optic snaking. They should start. They should fucking start. And they think it's fucking whack and stupid. It is whack and stupid, but guess what? Multiple teams and multiple players are snaking, and instead of bitching about it, the only thing you could really do now is just be fucking whack and do it back because nothing's happening. So, like, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do. At this point, they're not the ones who started it, and they know it. Start bobbing up and down. Everybody starts saying how easy it is. Then fucking do it. Just do it. It's like, why do we keep talking about this shit every week? And then in the chat, you just have people saying, selling him this, selling him that, selling him this. I understand that I'm biased and Selling's a good friend of mine, but guys, so many people fucking snake. It's actually fucking dumb. Like, stop with the stupid shit. It's so stupid. It's actually so fucking dumb. It's the dumbest argument in the history of fucking COD. Like,
I think on that note, we should.
And the last thing I would say, add a fucking crouch cooldown. You can't fix it. They tried. Add a crouch cooldown to the game so people can't just start spamming their fucking crouch button and bob it up and fucking down like a fucking snake. Like it is. Up and fucking down. Fucking bullshit. Like, it's literally fucking bullshit. You guys want to see me snaking? Look, there's actually a clip of me snaking. You guys want to see this? Ben, did you see me? I was in a wager and I was snaking. Did you see this clip?
Was snaking like this here?
Yeah, I was snaking the other day on stream. You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see.
All right, I'm gonna show you right now. Hold on.
And I'll look for another question or two, guys.
Okay. Here, let me show you. Give me a second. Yo, check this out.
What time is bringing it up, guys? Ask him some questions. We'll get one or two more before we wrap it up.
Yo, check this clip out. Me snaking, bro. I'm snaking, Ben. You see that? I'm fucking snaking.
Someone
you can do it too.
Someone asked, why do you think LA Thieves has not made a change yet? Because it's been one stage, man. Like, what? Like, they didn't even play that bad in the last stage. They had a tough loss against LAG. I see that, but like, they didn't play that bad overall. You also don't want to just like blow up your team after one stage. So they're probably giving it another shot. They've got talented players in their team. But my guess, and I'm sure you agree with me, Tommy, it's like if they can't figure it out here in this stage, they probably look to make a change and give themselves some momentum to try and be in that top 4 at the end of the season.
Yep. Let's take one more question. Let's take one more. But yeah, I'm down, and I want to make it very clear. I'm down to never talk about snaking ever fucking again. Yeah, well, I'm down to never bring it up ever fucking again.
I'm down for a ban to talk about snaking, which I'm sure won't last. But let's agree.
It probably won't last because somebody's gonna say some stupid shit and it's gonna make me pissed off, and I'm gonna have to explain myself again. Should I ban the word snake? No, Joel. We know that you like to ban things for no reason at all.
Don't ban the word snake.
Don't ban things. Stop banning stuff. Whoever says Shotzi was snaking on checkmate, stupid as fuck. Okay. GA the topic. I'm down. We gotta call Austin. Get him on the phone.
Topic is GA'd. All right, guys. Guess one more question here. Look, come on.
People were just talking about snake. Is there any other questions, guys? Are we done here?
People keep asking the same questions about other thieves, and we keep talking about it.
Yeah, it looks like people are just bullshit at this point. We don't got any more questions, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. Smokes in the CDL. We'll talk about that one. Do you think Smokes should be in the CDL? I think they should put one in. If they're not broken, put one in. I don't know if they're broken or not. They might be a little broken still. I think that ultimately comes down to the pros, and if they want to use it, I'm sure they have like a whole little GA chat going on. They'll probably talk about it a little bit. If the smokes aren't broken, if you bring in the smokes, maybe you can see a sniper. I think snipers are kind of easy, but I do think the game would be more exciting if there was a sniper, one sniper on the map, not two, but one. So we'll see. I'm sure they're talking about it. I don't know much about it. What do you think, Ben?
I linked an article I saw on Breaking Point yesterday, or I guess it came out today, about the history of smokes in COD. So if they work, we'd love to see them because they've always had a place. If they're still bugged, obviously we need to take a look at that and make sure they're fixed before they come in. The one-ways are pretty bad, but they would definitely help open up some of these S&D maps for sure.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of The Flank. I hope you guys enjoyed today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, it will be uploaded to YouTube, so any of you guys are joining us and miss any of the show, maybe in the beginning, towards the middle, the end, I don't really know, make sure to check it out on YouTube. I'm gonna try and upload this to Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff as well, so you guys can tune in there. But thank you guys so much. We'll be doing these a lot during the week. Especially while these matches are going on and stuff like that. So
next one's probably Thursday after the matches.
Yep, we'll probably do one. We'll probably do one after the matches, and we'll probably have them going every single day. So make sure to tune into that. Make sure to follow stream. Follow Ben on Twitter at BenJNissim. Follow me on Twitter at Zoomaa with 2 A's. And thank you guys so much for watching, man. Hope you all have a good rest of the night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.